Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting to something really central from the Bhagavad Gita. It's known as Arjuna's Distress, or in Sanskrit,
Mhm.
Arjuna Vishada Yoga.
The thing that always gets me about the Gita is how it kicks off. It's not with some big heroic statement.
No, not at all.
It starts with a breakdown, right? A moment that feels so deeply human. It captures, well, the heart of the human condition. Why start there? Why is that so significant?
Well, that's exactly the paradox we need to unpack today.
Yeah.
How can Vishada, which, means despair, dejection, that kind of feeling, how can that combine with yoga, which is a path, a discipline, a way to self-realization? It sounds completely backwards, doesn't it?
Totally counterintuitive.
Yeah. The idea that hitting absolute rock bottom could actually be a spiritual practice, that's the core question we're exploring. Okay, that sets us up perfectly.
Sure.
So our mission here for this deep dive is to really understand what triggers this crisis for Arjuna. We need to look at the arguments he makes, and they are arguments, reasoned ones. And most crucially, figure out why this intense despair isn't just an obstacle, but actually becomes a necessary step towards deeper wisdom.
Yeah.
Hopefully offering some insights for, our own tough times. So let's paint the picture. The scene is dramatic. You've got Krishna, who's acting as Arjuna's charioteer.
Right? The divine guy.
And he drives the chariot right into the middle of the battlefield, smack bang between these two huge armies ready to fight.
And bam. That's the moment the ground just disappears beneath Arjuna's feet. He looks out, and he's not seeing some abstract enemy force. He's seeing, well, his whole life, his world.
Yeah, people.
Exactly. He sees Dronacharya. I mean, this is his revered archery teacher, the one who made him the warrior he is. He sees Bhishma, the grand uncle, this towering figure of family respect, and then cousins, friends, brothers-in-law, people he grew up with.
Yeah.
The realization is just crushing. He's about to participate in the annihilation of his own kin, his own community. And the key thing here, I think, is that it's the personal nature of it that makes it impossible for him to bear.
It's not abstract warfare.
Not at all. It's intimate. It feels like a deeply personal, destructive act he's being called to do.
And the Gita doesn't hold back describing his reaction, does it? It gives us these really vivid physical details. His limbs are quivering, his mouth goes dry, he's trembling, hair standing on end.
Yeah, it's visceral.
Yeah.
And it connects so strongly, I think, with modern experiences of extreme stress or moral anguish. He literally says his mind is reeling, like it's spinning out of control.
A full-blown panic attack.
Absolutely. You could call it a full-blown existential panic attack. And, think about it, that physical response, that knot in the stomach, the shaking hands when you're facing something immense, a huge ethical dilemma maybe.
Yeah, very relatable.
It's a deeply human physical manifestation of that inner turmoil.
But you mentioned earlier it's not just an emotional wave hitting him. He actually tries to argue his way out of it, logically. What are those arguments? Are they just excuses, or do they hold some weight?
Oh, they definitely hold weight from his perspective. He's not just saying, I'm scared or I don't wanna. He's presenting reason, philosophical points. First, there's the direct sin of killing his own kin. He basically asks Krishna, how can we possibly find happiness by killing our own family?
A fair question.
Right. He's worried about the terrible karma, the negative consequences, this stain on their entire lineage. He says he sees no good in winning a kingdom if it's drenched in the blood of loved ones.
Okay, that's argument one. What else?
Second, he brings up the destruction of family traditions, the Kula Dharma. He has this deep fear that if the elders and the main warriors are killed off, the whole family structure will collapse.
The social fabric tears.
Exactly. Ancient rituals will be abandoned. Unrighteousness at Dharma will rise up. He paints this picture of society just descending into chaos and vice because the traditional anchors are gone.
And the third point?
The third is simply that victory itself would be meaningless. Pointless, even painful. He says it outright. I desire neither victory nor kingdom nor pleasure, O Krishna.
He doesn't want it.
No. He feels the crown, the power. It would just be a heavy burden, a constant reminder of the cost the lives of the people he cares about.
What strikes me there is how broad his thinking is. He's not just focused on himself, I don't want to die, or I don't want to kill. He's worried about the bigger picture, the societal impact, the spiritual consequences, the long-term ethics of it all. That's quite profound.
It really is. And that brings us right back to this fascinating paradox we started with, Vishada Yoga. How on earth can this state of utter dejection, this despair, be considered yoga, a path to enlightenment? It still feels so contradictory.
It does. But maybe the point is, because it's so profound, his despair isn't just like feeling a bit down or trying to get out of a tough situation. It's a genuine, deep moral crisis, an
Yeah.
existential one. He's not running away just out of fear, but because he genuinely sees the act itself as potentially deeply wrong and harmful.
Precisely. And it's this intense dilemma that forces him, maybe for the first time, to ask really fundamental questions. Questions like, what is my real duty here, beyond just being a warrior?
What does right action even mean in this context?
What's the ultimate value of life, of kingdom, when faced with this? This confusion, this pain, it becomes the necessary spark, the catalyst for change.
That clicks for me. Thinking about, our own lives as listeners, when do you really, truly search for answers? Is it when everything's comfortable and ticking along nicely?
Really?
Probably not. It's usually when you hit a wall,
Yeah.
right? When you face a major challenge or a loss or the decision that just completely floors you. It's in those moments of Vishada, that feeling of being lost, that maybe we become genuinely receptive, humble even, open to looking at things in a totally new way because the old ways just aren't working anymore.
Exactly. And that's what happens to Arjuna. His distress does more than just stop him in his tracks. It actively shatters his existing ideas about what it means to be a hero, what his duty is as a warrior. He sees the limits of his own understanding, his own code, and that breakdown pushes him towards surrender.
Which leads us to that absolutely critical moment when Arjuna finally turns to Krishna and says those famous lines, "My very nature is confused about my duty. I'm asking, you tell me for certain what is best for me.
Yes.
I am your disciple. I'm a soul surrendered to you. Please instruct me."
And that act of complete surrender, which comes directly from his state of utter confusion and distress, that's the key that unlocks everything. That's what allows the entire wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita to pour forth.
That's like, without that profound crack in his certainty, the light couldn't get in.
That's a perfect way to put it. The light can't get in without the crack.
I like that visual. It's like the soil of his mind. It was fertile before, sure, with warrior pride and his fixed ideas of duty. But now, that soil has been completely churned up by doubt and, moistened by tears of compassion for everyone involved.
Ready for new seeds.
Exactly. It's ready to receive these seeds of divine wisdom from Krishna. His confusion isn't actually a sign of weakness here. It shows he has a sensitive conscience, right? And he's willing to question everything, even his most deeply held beliefs, rather than just blindly charging forward.
Absolutely. So, thinking about practical takeaways for you, the listener, what can we draw from this, especially for those times when you feel completely overwhelmed, lost, dejected, facing a really tough choice?
Yeah, what's the lesson?
Well, first, maybe just acknowledge it. Don't try to push the Vishada away or pretend it's not happening. It's a natural human reaction to serious conflict or confusion. It's okay to feel that way.
Right. Don't suppress it.
Second, try to use it as a trigger, not for running away, but for deeper inquiry. Ask yourself those big questions Arjuna was forced to ask. What's really the right thing here? What's my highest duty beyond just what seems easiest or what I immediately want?
Use the crisis to go deeper.
And third, critically, seek guidance. Now, it probably won't be a divine charioteer,
Probably not.
but it could be a trusted mentor, maybe a therapist, a wise friend, or indeed wisdom found in texts like the Gita itself. And remember, Arjuna's surrender wasn't weakness. It was actually the ultimate strength, the strength of humility, of admitting you don't have all the answers.
That's a powerful reframing. So embracing these difficult moments, or Avishada, it isn't just something negative to endure or quickly get over. It can actually be the starting point for real growth, for finding clarity, something to lean into almost.
It really can be. In the structure of the Gita, Vishada is presented as the essential first step. It's the necessary prelude before you can truly understand right action, karma yoga or devotion, bhakti yoga or knowledge, jnana yoga. The Gita starts right there, in the thick of human suffering, because it recognizes that universal experience is often what pushes us to seek something more, something higher.
This has been, really illuminating. I feel like I have a whole new lens on that first chapter now. It's so much more than just setting the stage for a battle. It's like a blueprint for how we navigate our own deepest conflicts.
And perhaps the most profound takeaway is just that. Wisdom often begins exactly where certainty ends. That moment of, can be incredibly fertile ground.
A perfect thought to reflect on. Okay, join us for our next deep dive, where we'll get into Krishna's long-awaited response to Arjuna's plea. What does he say first? Get ready for some truly groundbreaking wisdom.
Until then, may your own moments of questioning, your own Vishada, lead you closer to your own profound truths.